I've never used a dating app before, so watch this video for more information. Meme review, Alyssa, go.
I wouldn't personally put too much emphasis on trying to decode specifically what it means if someone either refuses to give you their phone number or like their Instagram, or like refuses to move off the dating app messaging function, versus people who like really quickly try and like move you off the app. There is context for like why people like to do both. I wouldn't put too much emphasis on trying to like figure out what it means or if it's a red flag, because some people like to use the in chat feature on like dating apps because they don't want to give you their phone number because for like safety reasons you can like find them online, and they probably are scared of being, so that it's like to show you that they're like actually interested in you and they like really want to like get to know you. For them, it's like a way to like build trust. For both ways, it could potentially be a trust issue. Like, I think both are fine. I wouldn't personally try and ascribe too much meaning as to like why people do this unless it's on Snapchat. If they ask for your Snapchat and you give it up, you already know. I don't even need to tell you. I'm not gonna lecture you. You're not a—
I don't have a Snapchat. What does it mean, people? What does it mean? Young ones, tell me, what does it mean?
An idiot, right? You're not a child. Like, if you give someone your Snapchat and then you're like, wow, I can't believe they dragged me on and they didn't follow up with me. If you think someone's actually gonna message you and schedule a date off of you giving them your Snapchat, come on, man, come on. I don't need to tell you.
What? We need to tell me I'm old.
Since we are—
I don't understand. If somebody gives me their Snapchat, what does it mean?
We're now more than halfway through the video. I am legally obligated to give you a watery ass disclaimer that completely contradicts and neutralizes every point that I've made in this video so far, because I'm a spineless coward and I'm afraid of being cancelled. So what I want to say now is that this video is just my opinion. I was actually terrible at dating apps. So basically I'm just giving advice purely on like vibes and also the experience of my other 20-something-year-old friends who also had terrible experiences on dating apps, because everyone has to do the little ritualistic chicken dance on dating apps at some point. So that's just my opinion. Your experience is different and it will be different. The most important general point that you can take from this video, which is for entertainment purposes only, you should be very mindful of like the type of picture and post that you put on, not in like a prudish way. Like, I'm not saying like don't put this, don't put that. I will say that later on in this video, but like you have to be very specific about what you're trying to attract on the dating app, right? Because if you want to like hook up with someone, and that's fine, like that's a way to use the dating app.
No, don't hook up with people. No. Auntie Zoey does not approve. No hooking up. No hooking up.
It's just a tool, right? Like if you want to do that, you would put a specific type of image on your dating app versus—
no hook up with people. Just go to school and work.
If you're like, I want to start a family, I want to like get married and like have a long-term relationship, you would put a different set of pictures, right? You wouldn't put like what you put like on Facebook where your grandma can see it. You would put different images there versus what you would put on like your Finsta, right? Just try and think about like what you're actively trying to signal through your dating app and what you want.
No boyfriend
so
before marriage, yeah.
As I said previously. Another thing to keep in mind, and this is probably also one of the only other true things that I will say, and I believe in like any circumstance, which is that like no one is entitled to give you anything on the dating app. You are not entitled to people swiping right on your profile, right? I understand that that is like super frustrating and like really awful that we as a society have diluted dating down to like this left or right thing. Like that's really bad. If you think about it, you aren't really entitled to people's attention. But in the same way, for other people on the dating app, no one is entitled to give you a long-term relationship. Like people are entitled to like look to like have a one-night stand with people. People are entitled to do that. If someone wants to text you forever, they are like entitled to do that. If you think about it, like you should probably leave. Like you probably shouldn't let someone do that to you. If they were consistently talking to you for like 5 days and then they suddenly like drop off the face of the earth, like yeah, I know that's like really fucking terrible, and that's happened to me so many times. It's really irritating, but like also you can't really— they are like entitled to do that, you know, like they can do whatever they want. Being on the dating app doesn't automatically—
I think this is a young person or spiritually young-minded, but I don't think people are entitled to do that. I don't believe so. Be responsible to what you're doing. You're playing with other people's heart.
automatically entitle you to like any of the results of the dating app. In theory, like you have theoretical access to like so many different types of—
that's why I keep on telling you to go meet people out there, because when I'm offline, who's gonna support you? I'm realistic right now. I'm realistic. You got me, but you also need offline support, especially if you're VTuber, you need that. For you guys, as long as I'm online, you're safe. You're good. You're good in my hands. But when I'm offline, play Marvel Rivals with me.
People and so many like dating prospects that you would never have had in the past, right? That is the selling point that the dating apps give you. Also, if you are on there, you are consenting to be part of that cesspool, which is the dating app. So you've signed like a legal contract with the dating app, but you've also signed like a social contract with the other people on the dating app, which is like, yeah, we're all gonna like take each other, we're all gonna like kind of ghost each other and be like kind of terrible, and we're all gonna say hey and then not say anything else, right? Like that's all part of the social contract that you've kind of signed. Now that that's out of the way, let's talk about some common dating app pitfalls. Number 1, everyone thinks
Alpha male, fluent in sarcasm, likes adventure. I don't really like sarcasm.
that they're fluent in
Brat
sarcasm.
30.
If you see someone that put fluent in sarcasm on their dating profile, this is code for you're kind of a judgmental asshole. But you think that highlighting the fact that you're a judgmental asshole will give you a pass for being a judgmental asshole, and they've told you I'm a judgmental asshole before you met them. It's like them preempting the fact that they're definitely gonna offend you at some point during the conversation with them. And there's an actual term for this in Hollywood. It's called lampshading. But also, everyone that thinks they're fluent in sarcasm, they're not. Only I am. I am the only person. I am the only person that's allowed to be fluent in sarcasm because I get paid to do it on the internet. And also I live in London. Let's now talk about fish pictures. It is legitimately shocking to me, like truly legitimately shocking to me every time I'm on a dating app how many men put fish pictures in their profile. I'm almost convinced that like a lot of them are doing it ironically at this point because they know the stereotype of men putting fish pictures in their profile. If that were the case, I would respect it and I would think it's really funny. Because it's like a really niche, ironic joke and I get what you're doing, but also there are like way too many profiles doing it for that to be the case. It is almost certainly not the case and I genuinely cannot believe that people do this. I also don't believe that most of the profiles that do this have fishing as a legitimate hobby. I think you should post a fish picture on your dating profile if you have an actual association with fishing. So like if fishing is your actual hobby or like if you're a fisherman, then yeah, you should post a fish picture.
Post yourself with a dakimakura, with a Zoey dakimakura. How about that?
But otherwise, I feel like it's actually just misleading because it gives people the sense that you are into fish more than you are, and like why would you want that? I hate to say it, I'm so sorry, but like the women equivalent of a fish picture is putting that you like dogs and traveling and laughing in your profile. That's the women's equivalent of a fish picture. It is like a nothing burger because it's not specific enough and it
That's the women version of a fish.
it is like general enough to be like said about anyone. It's like horoscopes for dating profile where the horoscope will be like, yeah, you're a really ambitious person and you love to learn and you love to like learn new things. You're like, oh my god, that's me. Yeah, that is you, but it's also like every other person. Every other person really likes dogs and every other person thinks that they like dogs way more than every other person, which is statistically not possible. It's not possible for you to all like dogs more than the other person. If you want to put those things in your profile, you should be specific so that it differentiates you from every other person who also likes those things.
See, I told you I would kick a kid, but not a dog. You should put that on your dating app.
That's what I'm trying to say. What kind of dog do you like? What kind of dog do you have? Do you have an interesting story about them? What's your favorite coffee order? You know, like what's your favorite coffee spot? Where have you actually traveled? How do you like to travel? Where would you like to travel? You know, like be specific about like if you like traveling. Don't just say I like traveling. Just be like, you know, like I love traveling. Here's a cool travel thing that I did. You know, try and like qualitatively add examples to your resume.
Welcome.
Resume. Another benefit of it is that it gives people like a proper opening to be like specific about how they want to message you on the dating app, you know? It gives you something that differentiates you as a LinkedIn candidate. I mean, a Tinder profile candidate, and I actually can't decide which is harder to land, a LinkedIn interview or a dating profile swipe. They're both demoralizing in their own way, and you have to do both of them nowadays. I'm so sorry. But my point is, you should try and differentiate yourself and be specific. This is like the equivalent of like glazing a company in your cover application letter, even though you know nothing about the company and you just like read the Wikipedia page.
Okay,
like,
this is where you should write. I get panic attacks whenever I see a frog. That is oddly specific that you need to write down. A small 5-centimeter frog, okay? I will get panic attacks when I see a small 5-centimeter frog.
I'm so motivated that company X has done this specific case study that I read about 2 minutes ago. You know, like it's about being specific. Be specific about what you like. You know what I mean? Like you do that.